there have been fresh developments as well on Michael Carrick's future today, with talks now underway for him to continue as head coach next season. Sources have told us that an agreement could be reached before Sunday's game against Forest. As is his style, Carrick didn't give too much away when asked about it this afternoon.
I can't blame you for asking, to be honest. Well, yeah, there's 2 games to go, right? So we knew. Apart from that, there's not much else I can say. Is probably what you'd expect. I think the situation is pretty clear for us all. So same as in terms of preparing for the game, really planning for that, and it doesn't change what I do this week.
How much involvement do you have in what the future might look like when you're talking to contract talks and things like that? Are you getting involved in that, or is your focus on the football?
Future for, as in squad?
Yeah.
Listen, the future for me, it's going to be decided pretty soon. You know, we knew that was going to be towards the end of the season, if not the end of the season. So nothing's changed. There's no big swing on that. That is what it is. You know, and obviously whatever's beyond that is pretty close around the corner anyway.
I mean, it's been a fascinating scenario because I feel like I've asked this question like every week since Michael's been, you know, in that role. But does this scenario now, if Man United offer him the contract and he is the manager and that's accepted by everyone, is that them kind of saying, we believe in you, that you are a league title winning manager?
You would hope so, because you know, a club like that can only appoint somebody who they think will take them back to the top. This is the idea. There's a lot of work to do, even in kind of resetting the culture and the DNA of this club. He's done a great job since he arrived. I think no other teams has taken more points than them since he took the job.
Yeah.
This is all great. Now next season will be a different story. It's a full season. You'll be playing the Champions League. So up to January, it's every 3 days pretty much, with the international break right in the middle. Is he the best candidate? Was there nobody else either as a manager somewhere better than him, with more experience than him? Let's not forget he's only coached in the Championship and a bit in the Premier League, only a bit, never in Europe, for example. I don't know, we will see. But it makes sense that he was the favourite, and now that they decided to give him the 2-year deal.
Is it so difficult, Mario, that with the Man United candidate that we're talking about? Because on one hand, they've had those serial winners, they've had the glitz, the glam, your Mourinho's, etc. But then they're like, oh, we want the DNA, the Man United DNA. So does that perfect candidate even exist?
Yeah, look, that's the hardest part for every club. I think it's always going to be that question mark. But sometimes you also have to look at, like, of course, definitely, you know, if we talk about managers, then maybe would be one that has more experience and understand how to bust this game around. But the only key thing, what I feel in this situation, you also have to earn your rights. He have earned his rights. So we can say what we want, because look, when he came, they were what, 7th? Now they're 3rd. Like, okay, when he came in, we didn't even think about Champions League. Were we thinking about Champions League? We were not thinking Man United's going to make it to the Champions League. So he got them to that level. So in a way, like, he needs at least to get a shot at it. And now he's going to get it. I mean, the way things are going, he's going to get it. And when he gets it, then the only question is what Jules said. It was very good. Next season, guys, this is different, because now it's packed. And now it's almost like he's going from pressure to another pressure. And we didn't even think there was going to be more. No, there's going to be more, because with the Champions League and the league, it's going to be intense.
I just want to ask just quickly, Jules, how much influence do you think potentially the players have had on this decision?
Massive, and rightly so, I think. Really rightly so, because the feeling has been great, the connection has been great. But not just with the first team players, but he's gone to the FA Youth Cup games, to the reserve games. I think this
it all looks amazing. Yeah,
exactly. It's perfect. Maybe because we're going to compare it to Solskjaer anyway. And it's slightly different. At least they took a bit more time this time than with Solskjaer, where they gave him the job so quickly, far too quickly. After they beat my beloved PSG in that Champions League dodgy game, you know. But yeah, you're right. It looks just perfect. So let's hope he's the right candidate. Otherwise, you'd be back to square one in November or December.
Yeah. Well, one of those players that might have said a good few words about Michael Carrick was Bruno Fernandes, and Bruno has been talking about his, I guess, fellow opponent for the Football Writers' Player of the Year award, Declan Rice. Here he is.
I've always said I always thought that Rice was a player to play for Man United, And I was really sad when he chose to go Arsenal. I didn't know if was there the opportunity or the chance for him to come to Manchester United, but I always thought that he would be a perfect fit for our club.
Not a lot of Arsenal fans want to hear that, Mario. I mean, what do you make of that? Bruno saying, he thinks Declan Rice would be the perfect player for Man United.
I mean, look, players, we also have our thoughts, right?
Yeah.
And we also have our feelings that who would be better and who could go there. It's always going to be the only thing. The difference what happened now, he said it louder. And we normally keep it for ourselves. Yeah. That's the only thing. We cannot. I cannot jump on him and say like, oh no, I never thought about it. No, I had my moments too, but I wouldn't just not say it.
Yeah,
he says it.
He's gone for it exactly. To Pat Davison there, Mario. I saw you agreeing with a lot of what Kobbie was saying. But do you think it would have just been absolutely criminal to let United see Mainoo walk out the door and leave this squad?
Yeah, why I nod my head is because he went to similarities as any footballer went to. Some people have to understand. The kid is that young. And going through that with playing all the time and then someone takes you out of the team, and I can guarantee you that manager, you understand, gave him the feeling like almost you don't exist. And as an individual, that's the hardest thing. I'm talking now not being a footballer and you're working somewhere and your boss makes you feel like you don't exist.
Yeah.
That's very difficult, eh? Yeah. And then he has to stay calm. He's emotional. It's normal. I would be emotional. Everybody would be emotional. But then he stays calm. You talk to your family, and I can guarantee you someone in the family will say like, oh, this guy is crazy. We got to do something, or we got to leave, or whatever. Then you stay calm. You wait. Then you get back into the team because the manager leaves. And then you can prove your point. And is he proving his point? I'm very happy that the kid didn't go away. Because clearly, and the perfect person started playing better with him because they started playing better together. Casemiro started playing better. He started playing better. Yeah. So what's the answer? The old manager was wrong.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you mentioned Casemiro. Jules, you might have seen it. Cas did an interview with Rio Ferdinand this week. And I thought one of the most interesting things when they spoke about Kobbie Mainoo was that he said that, Kobbie's fantastic, but he needs to be pushed. He has to keep being pushed. I mean, do you agree with that? Do you think that maybe he needed this Amorim situation to come to his best self?
I'm not sure he needed that, really. I think Amorim gave up on him. Once he felt that he didn't fit in that system with the back three, and like Kobbie explained in the interviews, it's fine. Sometimes you just don't fit in what the manager wants you to do.
Yeah.
That's one thing. The other, and not even bringing him on, for example, as a sub, I think you just gave up on him, which is wrong because I think managers also need to find a way of getting everybody involved. And there's a player there in Mainoo, we all knew it. Yeah. And I'm sure Amorim could have used him a bit more than what he did. So being pushed, sure, some players need to be challenged. Sometimes it's the stick or the carrot with a lot of the players, right? And probably with Kobbie, as a young player, maybe at times he needed a bit more of like, come on, I need more from you. I expect more from you.
Yeah.
But he felt to me that Amorim just gave up on him, which is wrong as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it feels like he's come a long way since that moment under Amorim. And when you go back even further and you look at what he achieved, obviously with England as well, are we looking at potentially him back in that England squad and playing a really big role for them?
The key thing in this question is very important. Like, okay, the English squad is going to go to the World Cup, right? And we have to be careful that we understand that sometimes when, I'm not English and I'm not going to, predict that I know all the things of the English squad. But one thing I can guarantee you, this league is very intense. So sometimes you want some fresh legs coming with you. Because when it gets really amped up in the World Cup, it's very difficult. If you have players that do the whole season they're pushing, and we can clearly call Arsenal one of them, if they push all the way to the end, and then you got to play the World Cup. Guys, the World Cup is I don't want to say another level because you have the best of the best playing there, but it's just a lot of a different demand on your body. And physically, you're asking someone to, at the end of the season, to push again.
Yeah.
You need sometimes fresh legs. So that's why if you ask me about Mainoo, I say, I'll take him along.
Yeah, fair enough.
He'd be in the squad. He won't start, but he'd be in the squad.
Yeah.
But he would have started if he had a full season, probably.
Sure.
But in the meantime, Tuchel found another double pivot in Rice and Anderson.
And Anderson, yeah.
And I think exactly they're ahead now.
Okay. Well.
And let's talk to Manchester United fan Zarina, who is in the USA. Zarina, welcome back to Fan Zone. Good to see you. You know what? It says USA on my screen. You haven't travelled to the USA. You're in South Africa.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
No, I mean, it's
You're in beautiful South Africa. Zarina,
yes.
Michael Carrick So Michael Carrick, the talk is that it's going to be a 2-year contract, nothing official yet from Manchester United, but are you happy with that news?
No, you know what? I am happy for him. I feel like he's done a very good job as interim manager. He's ticked off one of the check boxes, which was get us into Champions League. So if anything, he's proved that he has a point to prove and to stay here. And I think he really earned this job as well. So it's only right that he gets a shot at it. So let's see how it goes.
No, yeah, he's been good. I agree with Serena. And look at that, most points per game. Premier League managers this season. That's some going. You know what? I always look at it, Will and Serena, now and think to myself, Ruben Amorim must be sitting at home thinking, how did I get it horribly wrong? Because you're stubborn and you don't want to change your formation and don't want to play players like Kobe Mainoo and play your players in the right position. It's the same group of players that are doing well, aren't they, at the moment?
Yeah. But like, Zarina, where do you stand with this argument that, some United fans have seen this before with Solskjaer? Because next season is going to be the ultimate decider, isn't it? The ultimate test for him. And to be fair to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you finished second in the table under him. I mean, United fans would take that. It's been a long time since you finished second.
Yeah, no, fair. So, you know what? You can't really tell until it actually happens. So this thing of, is another Ole Solskjaer, it's just going to be another disappointment. Nobody actually knows that until we actually see how the season plays out. So you can't really decide now and say, this is another toxic cycle happening all over again until it actually happens. So right now, all you should do is back the manager and trust that he will get the job done and be supported as well.
How far off challenging for a Premier League title do you think Manchester United are? How many players do you need this summer? Is that even possible next year with Carrick? Because you look at that form there, Zarina, and I know you haven't had European games and you didn't even have, League Cup or FA Cup, did he, to play in? But, I mean, with that form, you'd have won the title by March.
Yeah, no, we would have. And I say, like, if we had Carrick sooner, surely we would be in the title race. But I think we just need squad depth. That's the problem. And we need to play more games. I feel like sometimes we look too tired, and maybe that is because we play too little games during the week. And maybe we need more intensity during the week as well. So I think good signings, at least 5, hopefully.
5
for next season.
Yeah, she's right. I agree with her. 5, and they'll be challenging. Zarina, I want to ask you a quick one because we have to move on.
Yeah.
Bruno Fernandes, player of the year?
Oh, 100%. Clinton, 100%. He deserves it. No, I feel he's so close to breaking that assist record. I think it's 33 appearances, 19 assists. That is crazy numbers. So I feel like he deserves it. I mean, we didn't start off well, and for him to still be at this point, for us not starting off the season well, I think he deserves it, 100%.
Zarina, good to catch up in South Africa. We'll speak soon. Big game tonight, by the way. Aston Villa taking on Liverpool at Villa Park. Manchester United played Nottingham Forest this weekend. Not a lot of jeopardy on the game because we know United are going to be in the Champions League. There's a lot of talk about Michael Carrick getting the season. There you go. Some names. Igor Thiago, David Raya, Declan Rice, Gabriel at Arsenal, Bruno Fernandes, the Manchester United captain, and Erling Haaland, the top scorer in the Premier League.
You put Haaland in, I would have...
You wouldn't have put Haaland in?
I would have put him in, but I would have put Bernardo Silva in as well. Because City win the Premier League, he definitely would be in with a shot.
What about Semenyo?
Yeah, Semenyo's been good, but not recently. And Cherki's come good recently. Bernardo Silva consistently over the whole season has been outstanding. So, but if I had to pick one on that, it's definitely Declan Rice.
Yeah, well, I mean, Semenyo's the top scorer behind Haaland and Igor Thiago, isn't he?
Yeah, no,
he should be on that list, shouldn't he?
He should be in it. He should, of course he should be in it.
50 Declan Rice, 50 Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, I think it is between them two, but everyone's been outstanding on that list. It's a hard one to pick. Igor Thiago, the goals he scored at Brentford, just because they're not challenging, he should be in the mix and have a few votes at least. How do I vote? Well, I'm going to vote for him.
Well, you know how to vote. Get your phone out, scan the QR code. What did you do for your birthday yesterday?
I went out with my family for food.
Did you?
Yeah.
I somehow don't believe that. It was like not a very convincing story.
What else did I do?
I don't know.
Because you put me on the spot. I didn't know you were going to ask me that.
Sounds suspicious. Let's go to the US.